Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the Ecto-1 from the Ghostbusters Plasma series from Hasbro. So first things first, yes, this is part of the Plasma series, but no, it does not scale with the 6-inch Plasma series Ghostbuster figures, which I admit is a weird choice. I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but it seems more in keeping with like 3 3/4 inch figures, although I don't believe there are any 3 3/4 inch Ghostbuster figures out there. I wish there were. That would be great, and I would absolutely buy them if Hasbro decided to make them. But yeah, I guess this is just supposed to be kind of like a small, prop miniature replica kind of a thing. Like you're just supposed to look at it and go, hey, that's from the movie, and just not have any figures associated with it. So it's a weird choice. It's definitely a weird choice in my opinion. We have the real Ghostbuster Kenner reissue figures, which are about 5 inches, which wouldn't work with this either. Although they are reissuing the Ecto-1 for them, which is a Walmart exclusive, I think, in summertime. It's coming up soon. But yeah, so I don't really know what this is for. I guess it's just supposed to be a display piece. It's just a weird choice. I don't know why you wouldn't just make it scale with the 6-inch figures that you've already made. Or if you're going to do just like a small replica, then don't call it the Plasma series, because the Plasma series is what they're calling the 6-inch figures. So if something is going to be in that series, it should be compatible with the rest of that series. Again, it's a weird call. So whatever, this was $49.99 at Target. That's where I got mine. Packaging's pretty basic. I do like the picture on the front. This is supposed to be the Ecto-1 from Afterlife. That's why it's in this barn setting. Still, that movie has not been released, so I don't know when that's coming out, but you have some pictures over here on the side, some schematics over here, and then on the back just kind of shows off some of the features. I mean, it's got, these seats and these features seemingly for action figures, but no, not really. So that's pretty much it for the packaging. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing out of the box, and we're going to take a closer look. So here it is out of the box, and there is a little bit of light assembly required. Basically, this entire top section just pegs in one go. It's all one piece that pegs into the top. And then there are a few extra little accessories, mostly these like light gray antenna pieces. Pegs in here, pegs in a couple places. This antenna piece pegs in. This little gun up here just pegs in very simply. And then if you come around to this side, you have another little gray antenna piece. The ladder pegs in, and then this kind of soft blue rubbery plastic hose piece. So it takes a couple minutes. It's really nothing. There's no instructions, unfortunately, but it's pretty intuitive. Just by looking at the box, you can figure out where everything goes, and it just kind of pegs in. So now what you're left with is a very good looking Ecto-1. Aesthetically, I think it looks fantastic. They did a great job as far as the design, the aesthetic, making it look worn and rusted out, since this is from the Afterlife movie and it's been sitting in a barn or shed somewhere for years. So they did a nice job with that. It really does look worn, and they've done a great job. It doesn't look fake. It looks well done. You have the Ghostbuster symbol there on the doors. On the back, you get the Ecto-1 license plate. Aesthetically, I really do think this thing looks great. So I'm going to use, let's use Iceman. We just took a look at Iceman. I feel like these figures, these 3.75 figures, are probably the best scale you're going to get with one of these. And so we take a look on the side here as far as features go. This door does open. So we can open this up, and we can bend Iceman, and he will fit in here, which is nice. Let me lift his arms up a little bit. It's still a little bit of a snug fit, but you can get him in there. So there you go. You can have a 3 3/4 inch figure sit in the passenger seat. So that's nice at least. And you can see how it kind of like has a hinge, but also kind of like closes like this, and then you kind of like push it in. Now for the side here, this opens up. And you can see how the door kind of can go all the way against the car there. Then you have this seat that pulls out. And then you can rotate this around. And it's actually got a proton pack built into the back of the seat. And then you have this little wand that comes down. Now I'm assuming this is the firing wand. I don't really know because there's nothing else attached to this. So I'm assuming that's what it is. And you can kind of sit Iceman on here. Although I will say he does seem a little bit too big for this seat. Let me zoom out a bit. And there's certainly nothing to hold him in place. There's no seat belt or anything, so that's kind of a bummer. This honestly feels even smaller. Like, I would probably use, like, hold on one second here, a Mission Fleet figure, I feel like. Let me take his backpack off. This feels more equipped for him. Something like this. It's just the scaling issues are so weird on this thing. But yeah, that almost seems a little too small. But he's also having trouble staying on here. So, I don't know. It's just, it looks good, but it's just, I don't know what it's meant for. Because like I said, there's just really no figures at this size class that make sense. But I do think it's kind of neat. I like how the seat pops out. And if you can see past the seat, there's a lot of empty space in there. There is, and we'll take a look at it from the back. It's a little bit easier to see from the back. But you can slide this back in. And then this closes. So there is a seat back here as well. You can kind of see it right there. And I don't even know how you would... Can I get him in here maybe? If I angle him around. Okay, so he can kind of sit in that seat. But you can see he's then using this seat as a footrest. Like, it's not like you can fit two characters in there. But I guess technically you can have him sit in there. So that does kind of work. If we come around to the back, this does open up. So you have that nice opening door there. And if you take a look inside, you do have some nice equipment. You can see all that there. Over here on this side, all nicely detailed and painted. And you have this thing, which I actually think is pretty cool. So it's like a remote control trap. It's basically a trap with some like RC truck wheels on it. So that this could roll around and help them trap ghosts. And it does spin. You can see the wheels here spinning, which is nice. It doesn't like roll on the ground super well. It just kind of, you know, just kind of moves around. The wheels don't actually spin all that much, but they are capable of moving. And again, this is nicely detailed, and it has a little spot in here. If you can see, there's a peg. Let me see if I have my other light that will help. Here we go. You can see the peg right there on the floor, and that's where the ghost trap just pegs into. There's just a little spot here on the back, on the bottom, and that just kind of loosely tabs on there just so it doesn't fly all over the place. There we go. So like I said, it does look nice as far as the detail goes. And let me pull Iceman out of there because he's just rolling around at this point. It's a little weird to get the doors open though, I will say. Let me zoom out here so you can actually see what I'm doing. Come on out, Iceman. There we go. So there's a lot of space in there, and you can see there's a lot of space like back in here, but because that other door doesn't open, it's kind of hard to get to it. So there's a lot of space in there, and there you can see there's another seat as well. So I guess technically, could I get Iceman into this seat? Technically, I'm gonna say yes. But again, his feet are now over top of that other seat. So you kind of have three seats that all overlap each other. And you couldn't actually put a figure in each of them. You have that seat that if you sat there would overlap this seat. And if you sat in that seat, it would overlap the seat that pops out. So again, you know, maybe for Mission Fleet figures, you could actually fit three figures in there. But for 3 3/4 inch, which is seems kind of the scale that this is meant for, even those don't really fit. So at the end of the day, it's a nice looking Ecto-1. Aesthetically, I will 100% give it to them. It looks good. I like the features. I like the opening doors. I like the seat that pops out. I like how the back opens. I like the little like RC car trap. I like what they've done with it. It's just all the scaling issues that don't make any sense to me. I don't really understand what scale this is intended for. I'm assuming it's just not meant to work with any figures. It's just supposed to be for, I guess, adult collectors who just want a replica Ecto-1 to just kind of put on their desk at work or maybe on a shelf and just look at it from time to time. And if that's really what it's meant for, that's fine. It's just weird to me that then you would call it part of the Plasma series, because the Plasma series is a series of action figures And I know it would have been a large endeavor to make an Ecto-1 that fit with those figures because they're large, and it would have been very pricey, and you'd have to have a really big Ecto-1 to work with 6-inch figures, and I totally get that. So it's just, maybe just call this something on its own. Just call it, you know, Replica Afterlife Ecto-1. Just don't call it part of the Plasma series, because that's very misleading, and it 100% does not work with those figures. As far as what figures it does work with, I mean, it's just going to be up to you. If you want to play around and put some various figures in here, you know, go for it. I don't think there are any Ghostbusters out there that will fit with these. Maybe the Lego Ghostbusters. You could put the Lego Ghostbusters in here. It's a weird... All the scaling issues are weird to me. Like, obviously, you can kind of get 3 3/4 inch figures in the front, but that steering wheel is so massive that really no one can fit in there. And then you have the seats in here, and you have 3 good seats, but they all kind of overlap each other. So unless you had someone who could bend at the knees, you know, you could maybe sit here, and then you could maybe fit 2 others there, but you have nice space over here, but you can't get to it because that door on the other side doesn't open. So I don't get it. Like I said, I guess this is really just meant to be... It's just kind of a replica to just sit somewhere and say, hey, this looks like the Ecto-1, and it's not meant for any figures, and it's not really a toy, it's just kind of a display piece. And if that's what you want it for, then it's great. I definitely think aesthetically it looks great. I like the little features. I just feel like if it's a toy, it should work with some figures as a vehicle, and it doesn't really. So, I don't know. Time will tell. Maybe one day they'll give us Mission Fleet Ghostbuster toys, and then you could get those figures, and they'd probably work great with this, and that would be a lot of fun. But we'll have to wait and see how that goes down. But in the meantime, unless you really just want a nice display piece, I'd probably pass on this, or just wait till it gets clearanced, because I really think this is probably going to sit around. It's only going to appeal to a very small group of Ghostbuster fans, and it's definitely, I don't think normal kids are going to want it, because like I said, it doesn't work with any figures. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is what everyone's been looking for, and it's going to fly off the shelves. I personally don't think so. I don't know. Aesthetically, beautiful, functional, not really at all. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.